Hey there, it's been a while. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Matt Reeves. Not the guy who made the Batman or Cloverfield. I've made a few jam games, most notably 2 Lines, but I'm also working on a few bigger projects like Nemeses and Family is Nothing. For the handful of you who do know who I am already, you're probably thinking, where are the games, Matt? So I haven't done a proper update in a while, and there are a few reasons for this. One of which is a huge update which I will be addressing later in the video. But first and foremost, I seem to be going through some kind of ongoing midlife crisis where I'm realizing just how much my ADHD affects me, which is a lot. I basically went through extreme burnout in 2020 and have been slowly recovering ever since. The last few years have been a total blur to me. I've also realized I'm very quick to say what I'm going to do and very slow to follow through and actually do it. So instead of making a bunch of promises and not keeping them, I've decided to slow down and just take some personal time to figure some things out for myself. Every time I've thought about doing a proper update, I've immediately felt completely overwhelmed, and instead I've just been keeping my head down and working hard on my games. That said, I've made a ton of progress, and I'm going to be figuring out exactly how to showcase all of that to you soon. It will probably take on many different forms between YouTube, Twitter, and Patreon, so make sure that you're following, subbed, and patronizing. Make sure you're a patron. Where are the games, Matt? For those of you who started following me because of Family is Nothing, basically I tried desperately to get it published and was in talks with 3 different publishers. The first 2 said no, and the third one never got back to me. This was an incredibly slow and frustrating process spanning an entire year, and after that I decided just to publish it myself. It was also just really discouraging and caused me to take a step back from my game to reassess it. So it's still being worked on, it's just not where I want it yet. However, just as that nightmare ended, the dawn of a new dream began. But before I get into any of it...
Hello there. Today's video is sponsored by, which is sponsored by me. Now back to the video.
I received a message on Twitter from none other than Rob Gavagan himself asking if I'd be interested in working on a project together. And I said no. Just kidding, of course I said yes. For the last year I've been working with Rob on an analog horror series called GREYLOCK. If you're into that sort of thing, definitely go check it out. It's fun and dark and scary and violent. You know, all that wholesome stuff that you love. It's been such an awesome experience for me as I've gotten to learn how to do proper video editing, CGI, and I basically get to use the same skill set that I use for making games. I've learned how to do things like this. Or this. Or heck, even this. I've also finally learned how to do this. Anyway, please go check out GREYLOCK and definitely follow Rob too, he's a really awesome dude. Lastly, let's talk about Nemeses. I'm still getting asked on a regular basis whether or not this game is still being worked on and when it will be released. Short answer, this game is my passion project, which means so long as I'm alive to work on it, it will never be abandoned. But know that I've made a ton of progress since the alpha demo. In fact, a lot of it has already been shown on my Patreon. And at my highest tier, you can be part of a monthly Discord call where I show all my new progress on everything, including Nemeses. That said, I plan to do some kind of official demo sooner than later that will first be available to my patrons. Anyway, other than all of that, I've also started some smaller projects. My main goal is just to get something out. So don't be surprised if a new game from me comes out that you've never heard of. I may also compile a bunch of mini demos just to show people the various things that I've been working on. Still not sure about that, we'll see. But all that to say, I've been incredibly busy the last few years. Though it may seem like I haven't been doing anything, it's just because I've been taking some time to take care of myself and figure out what the best next step forward is. If you have anything in particular you'd be interested in, like me posting game soundtracks or mini demos of unfinished projects or whatever else, please leave a comment and tell me what that would be for you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to those of you who stuck around and believed in me, especially my lovely patrons. You guys seriously mean the world to me. Anyway, that's all for now. Love you all. Bye.
Subscribe, and like the video too. Subscribe.